It's an important day today, polling day, 38 assembly constituencies in the state of Jharkhand and 288 constituencies in the state of Maharashtra and 15 important by-polls happening across the country in 6 states. Well, it's a battle of ideologies, politics, identity and welfare that's speaking today. Maharashtra, Jharkhand, 15 assembly polls. We also have a whole team of reporters getting you the best and fastest updates. Let me go across. We have Radhika with us joining us from Mumbai. She's been tracking those important constituencies of Malabar Hills and Worli is where there's this important battle playing out between Milind Deora and Uddhav Thackeray. We have Anuj Raite, who has been tracking Thane, the CM's constituency. We have Abira, who's been tracking the movement of celebrities on voting day, polling day. We wish and hope more celebrities come out and vote and actually dismiss the urban apathy that we talk about. We have Tanushka joining us from Ghaziabad, which will also see one of those important by-polls. We have Gurpreet joining us from Gidarbaha, where Manpreet Badal is pitted against Amrita Waring in a high decibel campaign. In fact, we also have Prabhakar, where we have Prabhakar from Bokaro, and he is where he is in Jharkhand, where Santal Parganas will be voting today, the tribal heartland. So we're getting you all the best updates. We first have Radhika with us. Radhika, to you first. You've been tracking Maharashtra elections very closely. Tell us about Mumbai first, because 38 assembly constituencies in the city of Mumbai, MMR, very critical for India's infrastructure and also for the future of the Senas. What are you witnessing around you?
Absolutely. As far as Mumbai is concerned, this has been a Sena bastion. A lot of Sena versus Sena playing out in multiple constituencies of Mumbai. In fact, I am in a constituency in Bandra East. Earlier, I was in South Bombay covering Malabar Hill, Pedder Road, Worli, all of them coming under the South Mumbai Lok Sabha seat, of course, where there is the Malabar Hill constituency as well as Worli. And as you mentioned, Worli, Uddhav Thackeray versus Milind Deora are playing out there. We did speak to Piyush Goyal as well, who appealed to more voters, to more people to come out and vote. As you said, urban apathy is something that Mumbai is notorious for. As of now, 16% voting till 11 a.m. Will this change? We saw 50% last time in 2019. Will it increase from that, 50% to perhaps 55 to 60%? That remains to be seen. I'm in Bandra East, and it's a very interesting constituency. This is where Uddhav Thackeray and Aditya Thackeray will be coming to contest, will be coming to cast their vote. And this is the constituency where Zishan Siddiqui will be contesting or is contesting against Varun Sardesai. Now, Varun Sardesai is the cousin of Aditya Thackeray. He is related to the Thackeray family. Varun Sardesai is a debutant as far as electoral politics is concerned. Of course, he was part of student politics. Both Zishan and Varun in their early 30s. Zishan is an incumbent MLA here, and we know what happened to Zishan Siddiqui. He lost his father just a couple of months back. His father, Baba Siddiqui, was shot dead just close to this particular place as well. So a lot of sympathy right as far as Zishan Siddiqui is concerned, and he also left Congress party and joined NCP Ajit Pawar. That also happened just a few weeks back. So it is Zishan Siddiqui versus Varun Sardesai in a very important constituency of Bandra East. In fact, close to this is where Matushri is, where Uddhav and Aditya live. We're just waiting for a father-son duo to cast their vote in just a bit. So that's as far as this constituency is concerned. Yes, as far as turnout goes, we are seeing a better turnout from what it was, say, at 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. More people are coming in large numbers to vote. And also because of the strategic way that the elections are being held, the fact that it's being held on a Wednesday, the day being chosen is perhaps working well for the city of Mumbai. But we'll have to wait and watch out till 6 o'clock. Post 6 is when things will become clear as to what the voter turnout is. But a lot of celebrities coming out in large numbers. and politicians as well. But yes, high stakes battle as far as Maharashtra is concerned, and more than 30 seats in Mumbai going to polls. Milindora, Aditya Thackeray, Varun Sardesai, Zishan Siddiqui are some of the top contestants as far as city of Mumbai is concerned. Of course, Pawar, Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde just casting his vote some time back. I spoke to Piyush Goyal a while ago. Let's listen into that conversation. Piyush Goyal has just cast his vote. Let me just go across to him. Sir, a couple of questions. How different is 2024 election from 2019?
Well, I think the people of Maharashtra are coming out in much larger numbers. They are angry that despite having voted for a certain alliance in the past, there was a very unfortunate turn of events, due to which the vote which was given for a certain alliance was not truly able, we were not able to get a good government in Maharashtra. So I am very confident that this time they will give a reply to all those who betrayed the trust and vote which people had given in 2019 to a particular alliance, to a particular leader. All those who betrayed that vote of the people in 2019 are coming out in large numbers.
And what are the issues you'd like to focus on, and generally people are focusing on this time?
Our focus is only on development. We believe that Maharashtra should develop. The people of Maharashtra, the people of Mumbai should get a bright future.
On behalf of all of you, I would urge every voter in Mumbai and in Maharashtra to kindly go out and cast their vote. Vote for leaders, parties, alliances that have worked for you and will work for you in the future. I'm confident voter turnout in Mumbai will increase. Even in the Lok Sabha, early trends were not encouraging. They will be better.
Well, Mumbai is the city of dreams. It's also the city of stars. There are several celebrities, especially from Bollywood, who were seen voting in the city today. Many of them actually came quite early to the booths, and they are actually setting an example to the city, to the Millennium City, which has actually been showing lackluster performance when it comes to its voting records. Till now, till 11 a.m., there's been 15.1% voter turnout in Mumbai, from Bollywood A-listers like Akshay Kumar and Rajkumar Rao to Master Blaster Sachin Tendulkar. Several celebrities were seen voting. We just saw the visuals of directors, filmmakers, Gulzar and his daughter Meghna Gulzar voting there. You can see visuals of Sunil Shetty, of course, Ritesh Deshmukh and Janelia, his wife, several visuals there. Let me go across to my colleague Abira, who tracks the film industry very closely. Abira, tell us, how are celebrities looking at this? Because we know that except a few celebrities like Akshay Kumar, many of them actually are used to waking up a little later in the day. So how many of them did you see actually being spotted in the early hours of the morning?
Let me tell you, Akshay Kumar is an early bird. He's always the first one to go out and vote, and he votes from the Juhu constituency. We have also seen Rajkumar voting early in the morning, but later in the day we have seen Sunil Shetty coming in, we have seen Gulzar Sahab coming in. Gulzar Sahab came to Bandra, where I am right now at St. Anne's Church here in Pali Hill. Most of the celebrities live here in Pali Hill, so we are expecting a lot of more celebrities. We expect Sanjay Dutt, Ranbir Kapoor. We have to wait and watch. Deepika Padukone can't make it this year. Anupam Kher will be coming in. They have already casted vote. Janelia and Ritesh Deshmukh, like you said. We have Gulzar Sahab, who came in and told us how important it is for him and for youngsters to come and vote, because otherwise you can't complain if you don't vote. So that is something, a duty that you should have. And about issues, he said that, it's, all the issues that we see, normal people know their issues, so they know what they are voting for. And Meghna Gulzar made it very clear. She said, I'm really sad to see the turnout, because in the morning here at Pali Hill, there was hardly any crowd. Right now, what you see is finally a lot of people coming in. There's a queue. This queue started right now. Otherwise, it was absolutely empty since morning. We have seen a lot of senior citizens coming in, but hardly any Gen Z or, youngsters coming in. And we asked him, and he said, you guys are media people, and you guys have to tell these youngsters to come out and vote vote, while at the same time Sunil Shetty supported them and said that, they will come in the second half, I'm sure. They are youngsters, they may have had a late night, so I'm sure they will come out and vote, and that's what we are hoping for. Let's go and watch what Gulzar Saab and Meghna Gulzar, his daughter, had to say.
Right, Abira. Let's also look at some reactions coming in from the celebrities who have actually set an example in the Millennium City, asking people, inspiring people to come out and vote.
Problem issues is even we have to be as responsible. बहुत सारे issue हमारे खुद के भी है. Civic sense हो, discipline हो. हम खुद मांगते नहीं, हम मांगते सब कुछ है और deliver खुद कुछ नहीं करते. लेकिन यही चाहूँगा कि मुंबई हमेशा एपिसेंटर रहा है business का, हमेशा एपिसेंटर रहा है entertainment का. वो ग्लोरी वापस आ जाए और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का काम हो ही रहा है. ऑफ कोर्स यू सी बहुत ही अच्छा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का काम हो रहा है. वो सही वक्त पे हो, सही तरीके से हो, क्योंकि क्या है रोड्स स्ट्रक्चर्स आएंगे ही आएंगे, लेकिन साथ साथ ग्रीन कवर हो, पार्क्स हो लोगों के लिए, वो बेसिक्स होनी ही चाहिए.
This is supposed to be one of the most prime areas of the city, the country. And I think roads and infrastructure is of key importance. And I hope whoever comes to power takes care of that.
आइए वोट कीजिए, ये हमारी एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. ECI का मैं आइकन हूँ, तो बहुत समय से मैं यही कह रहा हूँ, लोगों को यही दरख्वास्त कर रहा हूँ कि आइए वोट कीजिए, हमारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है. यहाँ फैसिलिटीज़ भी अच्छी है, और जैसे कि मैंने अभी कहा कि सारे ऑर्गेनाइजर्स ने यहाँ पे अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ की है. सिर्फ हमारे लिए नहीं, मगर मैं ये उम्मीद करता हूँ कि सारे लोगों के लिए अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ रहेंगी. पूरा जो पीरियड है, वोटिंग पीरियड, वो पूरे समय तक अच्छी फैसिलिटीज़ रहे, यही मैं उम्मीद करता हूँ, और किसी को तकलीफ़ ना हो. आइए ज़रूर वोट कीजिए.
सबसे बढ़िया बात है, इंतज़ाम बहुत अच्छा किया हुआ है, बहुत अच्छा इंतज़ाम किया हुआ है. मैं देख रहा था कि सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए बहुत अच्छा इंतज़ाम किया हुआ है, बहुत सफाई रखी हुई है. एंड बस आज यही है कि सब लोग आएँ, वोट करें. दैट इज़ द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग.
बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट डे है आज वोटिंग का, और बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे तो देखने को वोटिंग आए हैं. आई होप कि और ज़्यादा भारी मात्रा में आए और वोट करें.
Well, important day today for Maharashtra and for 15 by-poll constituency across the country, and also for Jharkhand. We have Sanjay Singh, consulting editor at NDTV. We also have Badri Narayan, author and senior writer, joining us to discuss today's possible outcomes and also analyze the campaigns. Thank you both of you for joining me on this broadcast. Mr. Singh, to you first. How do you, we are talking about Mumbai, sir, 15.1%. This is a city where people are known to be very practical. This is known for its spirit, but also at the end of the day, there's business as usual. Is there a sense of apathy? Is there a sense of skepticism with politics that whoever comes to power, our lives are not going to change? And how does one address a sentiment like that in Mumbai?
That thing is disappointing. The voting share percentage as of now is 15.78, which is disappointing. If you go to rural areas, this number I think would be much different from what we see for Mumbai. Mumbai as it is, the whole region has 36 seats. We talk a lot about urban apathy, the division between urban and rural areas, the way they vote. We talk a lot about politics, we talk a lot about governance, particularly in cities, in middle class in particular. The new middle class also is there, upper crust also there. But when it comes to voting, that is a sad part. And then you crib about this government is not doing that. I think Sunil Shetty said a very nice thing. We also have certain duties and the way we should go about it. This election, I think Mumbai, Maharashtra is particularly important in the sense that is going to shape narrative for coming months at least. Maharashtra, Mumbai being our financial capital. More so, this election is also about, in Mumbai particularly, who holds legacy of Uddhav Thackeray. There is undivided Shiv Sena. The BJP Sena alliance swept the polls in this area. In parliamentary election, of course, the scenario was different. Is it going to be any different from the parliamentary election? Or who is going to have that kind of legacy? Because the way people are talking, I think from the initial projection that people were talking about, now things have changed a bit.
Okay.
That thing has changed a bit. At this moment, I'll not say in whose favor. But you can sense that sense the way campaigning has proceeded, certain issues have cropped up, certain things have been placed. But yes, these people coming out, the celebrities, the so-called celebrities, as we say, and Sachin Tendulkar being brand ambassador, also Bharat Ratna, master blaster cricketer, the people like them going to vote. I think common people should also go and vote to have your government. To have your government in place, the government that you want, and please don't crib later.
Absolutely, that's very well said. Also, Badri Narayan, I wanted to ask you, what is the importance of ideology in this election, sir? Because this is Maharashtra is a state that has seen a lot of multiple political formations in the last few years, multiple defections, and also confused loyalties, defections. In a state like that, like Sanjay Singh was also saying, there is a strong legacy of Bal Thackeray. The RSS comes from there. B.R. Ambedkar comes from there. How does ideology figure in the psyche of a Maharashtra voter in today's time?
Vasudha, I think you have raised a very pertinent question. I used to say that Maharashtra election is like Mahabharata, reminding us Mahabharata, at least in certain region, family is fighting against family, brother is fighting against Bhatija, the ideology is fighting against ideology. So it's a very mixed, very hybrid kind of election, and it's very difficult to tell who is what in this election. And second is this election, whatever we political analysts or psychologists see that in this election the caste or community will work as a homogeneous vote group, it's not going to happen in Maharashtra. Like Maratha, we said Maratha may be fractured, less or more. OBC will be fractured in 5 big castes, will be the Banjaris and many. So they have their also local connects. So they will be also divided. Dalit will be also divided. Mahar, non-Mahars. Then the Buddhist also, the Hindu-Buddhist interactions has been good. And above all, Vasudha, this developmental narrative, which has created a huge beneficiary community in Maharashtra, they can work across the caste and community, and they can form a homogeneous group like Larli Bahan impact if it happens, or various kinds of policies which came from the center or from the state. They may create a homogeneous vote bank. And certainly it may go in the favor of BJP, but mostly caste kind of thing, community kind of thing will be fragmented. It depends who is going to pull them in bigger number.
Right.
Who will pull the bigger number, they will succeed.
So there could be a social group that can rise above caste, is what you're saying. That's very important. Also, Sanjay Singh, do you see a difference between East and West in Maharashtra? Because a lot of people talk about the kind of infrastructure that has really come up in Konkan region, Mumbai, Pune. But the rural parts of Vidarbha, Marathwada think very differently. Do you see that there could be a divide on those lines? Or do you agree with something that Badri Narayan is also pointing out, that there is a social group that can rise above this, especially because of welfare push?
Yeah, but that divide was there, but also lately we have seen that particular part has been bridged to a certain extent. Like Vidarbha, the way people used to talk about it, or if you had visited both these areas, you could see the difference. But things are changing. Nagpur, for instance, is now a very vibrant city, and areas around Nagpur. And a special economic zone, I think, has come up. The IIM has been set up there, and so on and so forth. So many infrastructure project is going on. That is beauty, I think, of the NDA, and also Nitin Gadkari, as it is, belongs to that region. Devendra Fadnavis belongs to that region. Move slightly away from there, and then you land to Baramati, where again there is a very high-paced battle, Pawar versus Pawar. It's family battle, ideology, development, and what people actually think. Who is real inheritor in terms of ideology has become very fluid thing in politics. The way you perceive it. Shiv Sena from where it began and Shiv Sena from where it is, particularly under Uddhav Thackeray. Same is happening with Sharad Pawar's party, NCP, and so on. So many people moving from this party to that particular party. It is ultimately voters also, that gives a bit of confusion to the voters as to who should I vote. Ultimately, I think they are also going to be guided by the big picture.
Right.
If Prime Minister Narendra Modi can deliver. Who is going to be Chief Minister of Mahayuti? Not much of an issue, because we can speculate about that later as and when results come in, or if we get the trends. But people, I think, also apart from their local leaders, some areas like where Ajit Thackeray and Milind Deora are contesting, of course, that's a very personality-centric constituency. But more than that, also the big picture, big leaders, the way they shape the politics, the way the narrative has gone, I think that is going to impact on minds of the voters.
So not just the candidates, even the party, the kind of projections they've made would impact. Badri Narayan, what would you have to say about the future of the Senas now? So if you talk about Mumbai, it's all about Sena versus Sena. Uddhav Thackeray has projected himself as a victim of conspiracy, while Eknath Shinde has shown himself as an accessible chief minister who has thrown the doors of official residence of the chief minister, Varsha, open for common people. So clearly there is a lot of posturing on both sides, that there are personality differences between two people. There is a dilemma for the Shiv Sena, and also there is a dilemma for voters. What do you think would be playing on the minds of a loyal Shiv Sena voter at a time like this?
See, Vasudha, now Shiv Sena in contemporary time is not the Shiv Sena as it was. No, it's a Shiv Sena. It's a new Shiv Sena. Perception of new Shiv Sena has emerged, and that Shiv Sena is divided Shiv Sena. So the voters who are loyalist Shiv Sena, they may have a big dilemma where to go, and in that case, there are the local connects, personal connect, regional connects works better more than the ideological connect, because ideologically both are claiming for the same ideology. But the various kinds of connections and sympathy vote which this UBT has tried to cultivate, it worked in the last election. It's very difficult to say that it will work in this election. But there may be some reminiscences in the people's memory about that. But even then, Shiv Sena now, they will have to decide based on and they may decide based on their own interest, local interest, regional interest, caste interest, community interest, and based on that they will vote. Now that kind of ideological homogenization which was in the Shiv Sena is now fragmented, fractured. That's why I used to say this is the election of the fractured and multiple contestations. And the conventional psephology is again going to fail, in this election, as it happened in the Haryana. So it will appear in new way.
That's very nicely said. We are all expecting that, sir. But at the end of the day, we all do our jobs. We'll come back to you, Mr. Badri Narayan, and also Sanjay Singh. But let's first listen into what Nitin Gadkari, Senior Minister in the Modi Cabinet, Minister for Road Transport, and also the MP from Nagpur said today. In fact, he also cast his vote. Let's listen in to what he said today.
हमारे साथ इस वक्त हैं केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री नितिन गडकरी जी। सर, सबसे पहले विदर्भ के बारे में बात कर लेते हैं। पिछली दफ़ा थोड़ा कम रह गया था, इस बार क्या उम्मीदें हैं?
देखो, पिछली बार जनता को गुमराह किया गया था कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी को 400 सीटें मिलेगी तो संविधान बदल जाएगा। तो ये गलत प्रचार था। ना संविधान हम बदलेंगे, ना बदलने देंगे, ना किसी की बदलने की हिम्मत है। और सुप्रीम कोर्ट के खंडपीठ, चीफ जस्टिस और 10 न्यायमूर्ति ने मिलकर केशवानंद भारती केस में निर्णय दिया है कि साइलेंट फीचर्स ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कैनॉट बी चेंज। तो ये तो सारासार गलत प्रचार था। और अगर संविधान को बदलने का काम किया है तो कांग्रेस पार्टी ने किया। जब इंदिरा जी का रायबरेली लोकसभा के चुनाव की जीत के बाद इलाहाबाद हाईकोर्ट ने जो चुनाव अवैध घोषित किया तो इमरजेंसी लागू हुई, और इमरजेंसी में पूरी तरह संविधान की धज्जियाँ उड़ाई। अब लोगों को ध्यान में आया कि वो सब गुमराह करने वाला प्रचार था। आदिवासी को कहा गया था आपका आरक्षण रद्द होगा, तो अब उसका असर नहीं है। हम लोग अच्छी तरह से जीतेंगे असम।
सर, मध्य प्रदेश में हमने देखा कि लाडली बहना योजना ने कमाल किया। यहाँ पर लाडकी बहना योजना है, लेकिन क्या कपास और सोयाबीन भारी पड़ेगा?
देखो, लाडली बहन योजना का अच्छा फ़ायदा हुआ, जिससे कभी प्याज में कीमतें अच्छी है, गन्ने के कारण किसानों को पैसा भी मिला। अब वो एग्रीकल्चर में कर भी थोड़ा बहुत इधर होते रहता है, उसका कोई परिणाम नहीं होगा। बाय एंड लार्ज लोगों को मालूम है कि किसानों के हित में ही भारतीय जनता पार्टी निर्णय करेगी।
सर, एक बहुत अहम सवाल इस चुनाव से पहले बन गया है। एक तरफ बीजेपी नेता कुछ नोटों के साथ पकड़े गए, फिर दूसरी तरफ सुप्रिया सुले पर बिटकॉइन घोटाले के आरोप लग रहे हैं। सर, ये क्या है? महाराष्ट्र चुनाव में लोग इसको कैसे लेंगे?
सर, ये चुनाव सरकार के परफॉर्मेंस पर है। पिछले सरकार ने क्या किया और इस सरकार ने क्या किया, और इसी पे जनता विचार करती है। बाकी बातें मीडिया में उछलते रहते हैं, उसके तरफ ज़्यादा सीरियसली लेके ध्यान नहीं देना।
लेकिन बहुत सारे नारे आए, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, फिर एक से रहेंगे से
एक है, जात पंथ धर्म भाषा और सेक्स से ऊपर उठकर एक है, यही हमारी भावना है और इसीलिए हम सब भारतीय हैं। आतंकवाद और नक्सलवाद के खिलाफ हम मिलकर लड़ेंगे, ये इसका भाव है। ये कोई सांप्रदायिक विचार नहीं है या कोई मुसलमान या माइनॉरिटी के खिलाफ।
सर आखिरी सवाल, जीतेगा तो मुख्यमंत्री कौन बनेगा? क्या शिंदे साहब ही बनेंगे या फिर जैसा कहा जाता है कि
चुने हुए एमएलए अपना नेता को चुनते हैं और पार्टी का शीर्षस्थ नेतृत्व को निर्णय करेगा।
बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। तो नितिन गडकरी साहब का साफ कहना था कि जो चुने हुए विधायक हैं वो तय करेंगे और पार्टी का शीर्ष नेतृत्व इस बारे में फैसला करेगा। हालांकि वो आश्वस्त हैं कि महाराष्ट्र के चुनाव में जो बीजेपी का गठबंधन है उसको जीत मिलेगी। नागपुर से अपने कैमरा सहयोगी रिजवान खान के साथ अनुराग द्वारी, NDTV।
Nitin Gadkari, one of the senior ministers in the Modi cabinet, also one of the most important leaders of Vidarbha, speaking to NDTV. To you, Sanjay Singh, we're talking about Vidarbha here. Also tell us, you're mentioning this very important point that there have been changes in the way people have looked at the Maharashtra campaign. When 2024 Lok Sabha elections came out, it was seen as a done deal that, it's the MVA that is rising. But then the Ladki Bahin Yojana came up, electricity for farmers was announced, Haryana win happened for the BJP. Tell us, what are the things that really changed the way even the campaign was projected by both sides?
See, two things in particular. A, first begin with the rider that one state election does not impact another state election, but that does help in terms of shaping a narrative, giving kind of enthusiasm required and the kind of energy required for the party workers of the BJP in this particular case. And also the way the BJP pursued its campaign in Haryana, the kind of energy that they put in, that helped BJP kind of revitalize, and the leadership structure also thinking in terms of a different kind of strategy. Now here was a situation where you had BJP practically from being BJP from biggest party handed over Chief Minister's post to somebody who had less numbers, Mr. Shinde. Then the BJP gave an impression that it was not sticking to the chair.
Okay.
Also, largely
just hold on to that thought of yours, sir. Let me also ask Badri Narayan first as to what he thinks. Badri Narayan, sir, what do you think about, a welfare, a meta-narrative like the welfare actually making, creating a social voter base that is caste agnostic, and especially with regard to the Dalit Muslim or Dalit tribal Muslim consolidation that we talked about in 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Now people are saying that welfare will actually override those concerns for the Mahayuti. Do you think something like that is possible?
Yes, Vasudha, I think it happened. Actually, it's a very interesting shift has been happened. And we, as apologists or political analysts, usually fail to understand this new shift. The shift is, as I said many times to you also, that there is a huge group of beneficiaries has been involved. And not only group, it's a kind of a beneficiary consciousness has emerged. And that consciousness formed a kind of community. And that always wants something. If you are going to give them, then they will respond to you. So, as you see, BJP government since 10 years is trying to give many things to as a social supporter schemes. And that is working well among them. And they are voiceless, they don't speak. So whenever our psychologists goes to understand them, the election, they mostly listen those who speak. And so they emerge as a silent voter. Mostly they work across the caste, they work across the community, they work across the religion, and they have just turned as a silent voter. हमें कोई कांग्रेस जीत रही जीत जाए, वो जीत रही है वो जीत जाए. But they will go and decide, they will go and vote on the booth. Because they know who is giving to them what.
Right,
so democracy in a turn in a new way, and that is a kind of one can say it's a giftocracy. Sometime I used to call, but giftocracy. But we can positively we can say social support schemes, which has a original meaning in empowering the community and especially the most marginals, and that is going to work in elections.
Right. Sanjay Singh, you mentioned a very important point saying that people will look for candidates, but they'll also look for political stability, sir. How confident are you that people will actually, these factors will play on people's minds when they go out to vote in Maharashtra today?
Maharashtra is a business-oriented state, and people, of course, will give a thought about it while casting their vote. Also, we were talking about welfare schemes, Ladli Behna Yojana. That's a huge hit. When we talk about women in particular as a social constituency, and we have seen many a times recently women vote according as per their own conscience or not necessarily dictated by the family elders or their husband or their father or uncle. They think about their vote. Unless you are very committed to certain party and certain ideology, that again we have seen, despite no matter what, how many social welfare schemes. Coupled with that is development schemes and the credibility of the particular party and leader who can deliver. If you have, we have seen in past where certain political party has made n number of announcement, n number of SOPs. The SOPs that kind of, if actually they came into power and translated actually or implemented, then state would have gone bankrupt. But people actually choose with the credibility. In this particular case, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. On the ground, Eknath, Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis both have an excellent track record in terms of delivery. In short period, Eknath Shinde has established a leader in his own right, as you are saying, accessible and so on and so forth, and also people-centric leader. So was Devendra Fadnavis. 5 years of his tenure was kind of development-oriented and also a very astute politician, so to say. So when there is a shift in the way the narrative progressed, the electioneering progressed, there were allegations, there were issues, but what was important as to who was setting the narrative, and if there was a counter narrative or if there was certain allegations, who had capacity to puncture that.
Right. So I think a lot of corrective measures that the Mahayuti took, but of course the momentum in Lok Sabha elections was with the Maha Vikas Aghadi. We don't know if that is going to continue or it's a Mahayuti that's going to make a comeback. Thank you, Sanjay Singh. Thank you, Badri Narayan, for joining me on this broadcast. To Anuj Raite now, who's my colleague and who's been reporting consistently from Thane, the Chief Minister's constituency, also from other parts of Maharashtra. Anuj himself is from Nashik. Tell us what is happening in your hometown and what's happening in the place that you're reporting from. You are in Thane. Tell us what is the sentiment like in Maharashtra, specifically in the Chief Minister's constituency?
In Eknath Shinde's constituency, we talked to a lot of people out there, and even though we didn't really ask whom they voted for, but everyone is very happy to talk about Eknath Shinde and how proud they are of him being, of how their MLA is the Chief Minister. And they also talked about several development works undertaken by Eknath Shinde in that particular region. Also, one major factor that helps Eknath Shinde, not just in his own constituency, but we've seen across the state, is his people-friendliness, right? And this has been one thing that the Mahayuti government, and especially Eknath Shinde's brand value, has gotten a huge boost of. It is him being one with the people. Wherever he goes, we see him talking to people, interacting with them very freely. And even here we saw that he didn't come to vote alone. He was there with the entire family, and until he left, he made sure that his parents, his son, his daughter-in-law, all of them left the polling booth at the same time. And that really speaks a lot about why is he so popular, especially in this part of the state. Now, talking about the issues across the state, while the farmers' issue again seems to be one of the more important ones. We saw that how during the Mahayuti government, the entire onion belt voted against the Bharatiya Janata Party and the Mahayuti government. But then this time around, that has been replaced with other more localized problems, be it cotton, be it soybean, be it sugarcane, be it grapes. So different parts of the state have their own different issues. But at the same time, even while interacting with the farmers, we found out that there are these corrective measures that you were talking about, which have made the farmers think that the government is doing good for them. And the more important one of that is the waiving off of electricity bill. While covering farmers' issues, when we were talking to the farmers, they talked about how they've been gifted 1 to 2 lakh rupees because their electricity bill, which was close to 1 lakh, 2 lakh, even 3 lakh for many people, has been waived off completely. And that will make them think a lot before going to the polls. Another important thing, especially in the hinterlands, is the difference between the candidate at the local level and the kind of government they want at the state level, right? They may want a particular alliance to be in the state level, but people we are seeing are, more determined and are more categorical about who is the candidate because it's the hyper-local problems that they're focusing on more.
Right. Thank you, Anuj, for joining us with those details.